Barbell back squat. So this exercise targets your glutes and your thighs. And the first thing we want to do is make sure that the rack is situated properly so that you can go ahead and place it behind your neck and shoulders from a comfortable position. And so that when you squat down low enough, should you not be able to go back up due to excess weight, that the rack will catch it and you'll be safe. So what we want to do is start by placing our pinkies on the rings on either side and place the bar behind your neck and your shoulders. This is what's known as a high bar position. From there, break the bar and you'll see that your elbows come forward and you should feel a little bit of tightness in your shoulder blade muscles. This is going to help give you more stability and protect your upper back as well. While then keeping your abs tight, we want to drive up through the heels and stand up strong, and you should feel your hips thrust forward and your glutes contract. Now we're ready to begin the exercise by taking a couple of steps back, and we're going to create torque in your knees to protect your knees. And all that means is we're locking your femur into its socket. Very much like we're creating torque in your shoulder blade muscles when doing a shoulder press by quote unquote hiding your shoulders in their back pocket. The way we create torque in your knees is by screwing your feet into the ground. And you should feel a little bit of tightness in the knees when you do this. And then from there, you're going to simply drive your hips back and down simultaneously, breaking just past parallel, going down slow, controlled, not letting gravity do any of the work, and then driving back up strong through the heels. And again, you should feel your hips thrust forward as your glutes contract. We're aiming for 8 to 12 repetitions here towards muscular exhaustion. And then when you're done, you're simply going to walk into the rack. And then again, as the bar hits the rack, you're going to slowly drive your hips back until the bar falls safely onto the rack. And then you could start off with the 45-pound bar and up the weight by 5 to 10 pounds on either side, each and every time you're hitting that 12 repetition mark or higher. Pro tip, when breathing, we want to make sure that we're doing something known as the Valsalva maneuver. All that means is before you begin, you want to breathe in, and you'll notice how I'm resetting my position. I'm breaking the bar, I'm making my abs tight all over again. I'm creating torque all over again after each and every rep. Then I'm taking in a deep breath. I'm holding it as I'm going down, slow, controlled. Again, not letting gravity do any of the work. And then I'm breathing out with a controlled, pierced breath as I'm driving up through the heels and standing up strong, hip thrusts forward and glutes contract. And what this is going to help you create is something known as intra-abdominal pressure. It's going to provide you with even more stability and give you additional strength for your squat. Very important, especially as you're lifting heavier weights. So there are 7 common mistakes that we want to avoid. One is the butt wink. And the reason this happens is because there's not enough control on the way down. You want to make sure you're just breaking past parallel. 2 is driving forward with your knees first, as opposed to with your hips. And the problem is whatever moves first bears the lion's share of the load. So we want to make sure that the load is being taken by the hips, not by the knees. 3 is a quarter squat. This is where we're not squatting down low enough. And oftentimes it's due to a lack of mobility. So what you can do is place either 5 or 10 pound plates underneath your heels to give yourself that extra added mobility. 4 is the good morning squat. This is where your chest begins to fall forward. What we want to make sure of to protect your lower back is that your chest stays up the whole time. 5 is squatting up halfway, not fully thrusting your hips forward and contracting your glutes. Again, this puts a lot of pressure on your lower back. So you want to make sure you're driving up through the heels and standing up strong. 6 is something known as knee valgus. This is where your knees begin to either buckle or even begin caving in. And the way we are going to avoid this is by creating torque by screwing your feet into the ground. And then 7 is the sumo squat, where you're excessively turning your feet outward. The reason why the knees are turned out is as a symptom of creating torque, screwing your feet into the ground, as opposed to a primary cause of you actually turning your feet out.